Dear Mother, today was our 10th day of travel on the long road, and to say we are all a little worse for wear would be an understatement. Early this morning, after a breakfast of scrambled quail eggs, we arrived at Willow Creek Hollow. The entrance to the town sported a guard tower and barracks, framing the road in. There is an 8-foot-high stone wall being constructed, which currently flanks the tower by 10 feet on either side. Both Ezra and Bolt were quite surprised to see the wall. It seems that the town has been going through some major changes, even in the last 30 days that Ezra has been gone. There was a long score of wagons lined up to get into the city. The Arcanum were checking every caravan, even taking out supplies and looking under the carriages. It put us all on edge, and we quickly devised a plan. Ezra would disguise himself. If someone were to recognize me, Victor, as a professional bounty hunter, would claim he had found me and was taking me in to claim the bounty. Ezra had disguised his father's book as well. We asked Ainor to do the talking for us when we got to the front of the line. Everyone in Willow Creek knows her, and her reputation clearly precedes her. When it was finally our turn to pass through the Arcanum security, we were greeted by a friendly law mage named Jack. He and Ainor clearly knew each other and made small talk as he gave her wagon a once-over. Ainor handed over the required paperwork and explained that she had hired us as guards for her journey along the long road, paying us with food. Jack said he needed to take a closer look, and Ainor offered him a good table at her restaurant if Jack would forego the formal inspection of her caravan. I didn't know good food could be so compelling. Before we knew it, Jack had escorted us through security and sent us on our way in town. Before parting with Jack, Victor asked where we might go to collect a payout for defeating the bandits that were posing as House Greenwood protectors. Jack said that we would need to discuss with Justicar Nayet Parum, but unless we had concrete proof, it would be unlikely we would collect a reward for our efforts. He did say that Malik, the knight from House Greenwood, had arrived yesterday. He could potentially corroborate our story, but it may not be worth it, as he was rather wary of our true identities when we parted ways. Willow Creek Hollow is a beautiful, sprawling city, but much of its beauty was easy to overlook with the massive construction projects. There were new cobblestones being laid and lamp posts being erected as we walked down the main thoroughfare. One item of beauty that was impossible to ignore was the massive willow tree in the center of town. Its trunk was giant. The long branches bowed and licked the ground, like a gardener tending to their flower beds. A light breeze rolled through the boughs, making them bounce and sway. We walked with Ainor to her restaurant. She explained that the Arcanum had paid all of the shops in town 50 gold for renovations. The Talisman Academy, the university that Ezra attended, had been garnering quite a bit of attention and prestige as of late. The Arcanum felt the city needed a little facelift to match the reputation of the school. We decided to send a message to Ezra's professor and friend, Alarian, to see if he'd meet all of us for dinner at Ainor's restaurant. Ezra asked Victor if he would go visit his old home, to see if there was anything left that the Arcanum didn't confiscate. Bolt and Sari followed Victor, and I accompanied Ezra to the Talisman Academy to speak with the professor. The Talisman Academy is, quite simply, magnificent. We followed a cobblestone path to several grand and beautiful buildings. Massive towers rose to the sky, and everywhere I turned there were students bustling about in long robes, carrying parchment and books. The students were followed by their familiars, owls, cats, toads, and hawks. Ezra and Bolt are still working on Ezra's clockwork owl familiar. I watched Ezra as we walked down the tapestry-draped halls of the school. He certainly seemed like he fit right in with the other students. As Ezra described the classes taught at the school, like tinkering and alchemy, I was overcome with a feeling of awe and wonder, but deep in my heart, those feelings were mingled with a bit of jealousy and sadness. I will likely never get the opportunity to attend a magic university, nor will any of my friends from home. There is so much I've missed out on. I asked Ezra if he'd ever want to continue his study to become a law mage and join the Arcanum. Of course he said no, and Mother, I can hardly blame him. We've found ourselves on the wrong side of the Arcanum, and it's not a pleasant place to be. Ezra and I have done nothing truly evil. We've not put innocent lives in danger. We mean no ill will toward anyone, and yet, if the Arcanum do capture either of us, I have no confidence they'd understand. We finally found the tower Ezra's professor friend was teaching in. Ezra sent him a message with his mind. He was in the middle of class, and so we had to wait. We found a lovely little grassy patch under a shade tree where we sat patiently. Class ended, and Ezra was able to message his professor, inviting him to dine with us in the evening, to which he agreed. While we were at the academy, Victor, Bolt, and Sari made their way to Ezra's home. It is a little further away from the city center, but they made it there quickly. Ezra's home was surrounded by red tape put up by the Arcanum. On the door hung a sigil indicating that the house was considered evidence in an ongoing investigation. Bolt and Victor scoured the home, but anything of interest had already been confiscated by the Arcanum. Sari kept watch on the street, playing a song on Craggy like a busker. She must have been quite convincing, as she even collected a few silver pieces from an Arcanum patrol that passed by. Bolt collected Ezra's books and notes from school, along with a small wood-carved effigy of an owl from Ezra's room, and returned to meet us. We met up with the others in the middle of town, and Bolt gave Ezra his things. While Victor, Bolt, and Sari were describing what they had found in Ezra's house, Victor quickly reached out his hand, and out of nowhere a rat appeared in it. It dropped to the ground and scurried away. It was a bit startling and upsetting. I said a little prayer in my heart to the trio, and when I ended my plea, I looked down the adjacent alleyway and saw an imp. It had the wings of a bat and the tail of a scorpion. It began to scale the wall of the building and climbed on top. I shouted to the others what I had seen, and Sari quickly climbed the wall after it. Ezra and Victor ran to the front of the building. When Sari reached the top, she called down to us that she couldn't see anything. It became clear that we might need the trio's eyes. Bolt hoisted me up on the roof. As I got to my feet, I saw the imp sitting on Sari's shoulder, ready to sting. Thankfully, it missed her, and Sari was able to kill it. We were about to climb off the roof when we both felt a massive jolt of electricity surge through us. It was not a pleasant feeling, and I could swear my heart skipped a few beats. Sari's hair was literally standing on end. This set her off, and before I knew it, she was storming into the shop below, screaming about being electrocuted. I'm glad she's on my side. I'd hate to be on the receiving end of that. The assistant manager of the shop, which happened to be a Wellspring Company store, was an interesting woman named Dallin. She wore an enormous pair of goggles with several different lenses attached to them, like jeweler's loops with varying degrees of magnification, which she flipped through to improve her vision. Dallin didn't apologize to us so much as she accused us of trespassing on her roof, imp or no imp. Sari is like a magnet for feisty females, Glitterbug, Ainor, Dallin. Despite her lack of apology, she waved her hand and smoothed Sari's hair back into place with magic. She even added a bit of glamour by dyeing Sari's eyelashes and adding color to her eyelids, lips, and cheeks. She looked absolutely beautiful, but I think she's lovely with her hair standing on end. Victor pulled out the Book of Bounties and asked Dallin if she could tell us who had purchased the book originally. She took the book and looked through a register. Finally, she found that it had been purchased by someone named Previs. Victor quickly snatched the bounty book back, explaining that he would find and return it to the original owner. Bolt recognized Dallin as a tinkerer and asked if she could identify the shiny shard we collected in the sanctum. She gently took it in her hands, flipped through several of her lenses, then handed it back. She didn't recognize it. We asked her to smell it, and the rock was passed from person to person, and the scent varied once again, from death to arcane magic to Kes-Kes's airship, the greatest treasure. Victor purchased a healing potion and Ezra some parchment. As we were about to leave, Dallin knocked on the counter and several enchanted paper-folded dragons emerged and began flying around our heads. I was delighted by the charm. We all made our way to the large willow tree to rest for a bit before our dinner appointment with Ilarion. I checked my communication ring and found I had 3 messages. The first was from Lucan asking for a status update. I responded, letting him know that we were on our way and had stopped in Willow Creek Hollow to deliver Ainor safely to her restaurant. He responded again, expressing gratitude that I wasn't dead. The next message was from Kes-Kes, saying that he had a huge delivery contract asking for our whereabouts. I messaged him back for more details. I can only assume he needs our protection for a delivery, but in our current wanted state, I'm hesitant to provide our location to just anyone. The last message was from Glitterbug, just popping in to say hello. I asked her if Ambaris had made her way back to the sanctum, to which she replied, yes, we purged the forest. I am sure she found great pleasure in that. While I was checking messages, Sari played Craggy and Victor danced to the music. A student approached Bolt and asked if she could take an illusion of him. In return, she offered Bolt a hairpin, which was the final component Bolt needed to complete the frame of Ezra's owl familiar. After responding to all of the messages, I knelt and offered a prayer to the trio, asking them what danger might await us in Willow Creek Hollow. Instead of a clear answer, all of the noises around me seemed to get louder and louder, and I had a feeling like the universe was closing in on me. A bad omen for certain. Ezra pulled Sari aside. He took his father's book from his cloak and handed it to her. He asked her to keep it, and if anything were to happen to us, if Ezra's identity were discovered, she should run. Finally, it was time for our dinner at Einor's. I haven't been to many restaurants, so to say Einor's is the fanciest place I've ever eaten at doesn't mean much, but I was impressed nonetheless. The maitre d' Frederick wasn't at all pleased with our appearance. He looked us all up and down with a judgmental glare, and if I could have melted into the floor to disappear, I would have. Thankfully, Ainor came to welcome us and took us to a private dining room. Everyone but Sari left to wash up, to look a bit more presentable. When we returned, Sari was in a deep conversation with Ezra's professor friend about buttresses. Alarian is quite old, and it's remarkable to me that he still actively teaches at the academy. He immediately turned his attention to Victor, recognizing him as a member of the Fourth Ring, and offered his condolences. It seems Victor is blindfolded as a means of reparation for unfavorable behavior or actions. Alarian mentioned that the Third Ring came through Willow Creek Hollow recently on their way to Terabon. Victor's demeanor immediately changed upon hearing this news. I think it's time I learn more about Victor's family. We made certain we were alone in the dining room. Alarian thanked Ezra for not meeting him in person at the academy. He mentioned some unsavory individuals that had come to pay him a visit after Trevin had been arrested and taken to the beacon for possession and distribution of illegal magics. They were the same people who had interrogated Ainor, the one with the hourglass symbol on his chest. Bolt presented the professor the shining shard of metal and asked if he could identify it. Alarian's eyes grew very large. He knew what it was immediately. The shard is a piece of Ald steel, a very potent magic material from extraplanar sources. He said Ald is in constant flux until it is forged, and very dangerous in its raw form. I consider us very lucky to have avoided any accidents with it in our possession. Alarian then explained that Ald steel is attracted to other extraplanar elements. We asked if it were possible for a construct, such as Bolt, to be made from Ald steel. Bolt explained their vision in the sanctum to Alarian. Alarian theorized that it could mean Bolt is an extraplanar being. I asked about forging Ald steel. Alarian said that anyone could forge the steel, and that once forged, it would remain in its forged state. Many weapons forged from Ald have been passed down from generation to generation, and their owners likely don't even know they were originally forged from Ald. Alarian mentioned that in its raw form, the steel will form into whatever shape is needed by its user in that moment. A forged piece of Ald steel could only transform if in the presence of immense amounts of extraplanar energy. This statement pricked my mind. I asked about Craggy, Sari's weapon. Craggy can change forms whenever Sari wills it. She demonstrated by changing Craggy into an Ethop, an instrument I've never seen before. Sure enough, Craggy transformed. I had so many thoughts and questions to ask, but Ainor promptly entered the room with our food. A different meal was set in front of each of us. Sari was presented with a vegetable pastry and meat stew. Victor, a shepherd pie. Ezra ate venison, medium rare. Bolt, a heaping bowl full of the spiciest chili. I was presented with a bowl of chicken and dumpling soup, identical to your own recipe, Mother. And Ilarion ate oatmeal. The meal was truly Einor's greatest work of art. As we finished up with a chocolate mousse for dessert, Ilarion suggested that we sell the Ald Still. If we keep it, we may run into trouble. No matter what, he recommended keeping it away from the Arcanum. He asked Ezra to stay away from the college, and he bid us adieu. We said goodbye to Ainor and left the restaurant, our minds and bellies full. We decided as a group to leave Willow Creek Hollow immediately. There was no need to stay the night. That would only welcome danger. Suddenly, we heard someone in the distance shout, "Fire!" We turned to see flames jumping up above the rooftops, coming from the direction of Ezra's home. He started to run with the masses toward the fire. We followed, and as we did so, a strange buzzing filled our ears, like the bee boxes we tend to at home, but 20 times the volume. Right in front of us, a huge black beetle landed, blocking our way. It was a construct, but looked so lifelike. It was holding a chakram in each hand and had an hourglass symbol on its chest, just like the one Ainor and Ilarion had described to us that they had seen on the chest of the man that had visited them, looking for Ezra. Victor immediately threw out Shadow Song, and with a bit of time magic help from Ezra, managed to hit the beetle. When Ezra used his magic, the eyes of the construct lit up, a sickly green, and the hourglass on its chest made one half turn. It had identified its target, Ezra. Ezra, who usually runs for cover to work his magic from a distance, stood his ground, almost taunting the beast. I whispered a prayer to the trio, asking them to bless my friends with help. The wings of the beetle opened up and 2 more of the round-bladed weapons shot out at us. One flew out at me, the other at Bolt. We were both able to dodge out of the way, and the weapons circled back through the air, reattaching to the beetle's back. The beetle lurched forward at Ezra, knocking him to the ground. He was completely unconscious, and I thought likely dead. The beetle started rummaging through Ezra's clothes, clearly looking for Treven's book. I was so glad he had given it to Sari. Bolt yelled at me to help Ezra as they whipped the construct with their chain and pulled it back to them. Sari did not run away with the book, as Ezra had previously asked her to do, but instead the darkness filled her eyes and she moved toward the beetle. Victor threw out Shadow Song again and hit the beetle, getting its attention. He pulled out the bounty book and asked the beetle if it was looking for this, patting the book, hoping to trick the monster. I knelt beside Ezra and put my hands on his chest. I closed my eyes and I imagined him breathing again, his heart beating again. When I opened my eyes, his opened as well. The construct sent the chakrams on its back out again. One went sailing into the street, the other just missed Sari. It then turned its attention on Bolt and slashed them with one of the chakrams in its hand. Every time Victor or Bolt hit the beetle, the scratches and dents on its shell seemed to mend themselves back up. Bolt held out their hands and rusty red magic erupted from them, shrouding the beetle in magic and pushing all of us 10 feet away from Bolt. Sari moved the beetle in her darkness and hit it hard. Victor threw out more knives, causing more damage. Ezra managed to get to his feet and magic erupted from his hands, smashing into the construct. I swung at it with my long sword. The scarab extended its wings and flew over all of us to get out of Sari's darkness. We all attacked as it moved away. When the beetle landed, it rushed toward Bolt to attack, knocking me down on its way. Bolt delivered a powerful uppercut with their gauntlets, and Sari sliced it with her glaive. Victor threw more daggers at it, but it was Ezra who finally killed the construct. He had a steely look on his face as he sent a powerful wave of magic right at the beetle, dropping it dead in the street. Victor inspected the scarab's weapons as Bolt inspected the construct itself. From what Bolt could tell, the construct had been made from parts all over Aneria. Whoever made this monster knew what they were doing. Bolt picked up the sigil from the construct's chest and put it in their bag. We needed to flee, but Ezra couldn't leave without seeing his childhood home one last time. He hid in shadows and alleys as he made his way back to his home. He watched as it burned bright. His eyes got a bit misty, but when he turned his back on his home to join us, it wasn't a look of sadness I saw on his face, but one of hatred and rage. Eve.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to session 9. What? I just barely started. Was it?
I think I gave her a weird glance right as it started. I was like, and I'm just like, and I think it tripped her up.
Well, welcome back to session 9 of Tales of Aneria. That's a great start. I think we're going to keep that one. Yep.
Yeah, you have to.
Yep. Editor note. Editor. We're just going to jump into it. Okay. So, to say that you guys' exit from Willow Creek Hollow was hasty is kind of an understatement, actually. Mm-hmm. As soon as you see the Arcanum kind of moving away from the fire and heading towards where this giant fight just went down, 5 sets of feet make a break for the open fields around the town and slip through the half-built stone walls. So my question to you guys is, are we taking the road or are we staying off the road this evening?
It's dark.
How does the poem go?
The road not taken.
traveled.
2 roads diverged in a yellow wood.
Well, I'm going to get copy straight.
But I think there's only one road here, so...
No, T.S. Eliot.
Oh, okay.
It's Robert
It's
Frost.
Robert Frost, yeah.
No, sorry. Let me rephrase that. T.S. Eliot wrote this poem in Aneria. And he just basically came over and he's like, Robert Frost poems are mine.
Good save.
Thank you.
Genius. We cannot, I don't think it's smart of us to take the long road.
No.
Well, I don't much fancy hacking our way through Brambles and Briars, but how far do we have to go before we can set up camp for the night?
I mean, it's just
As we're running,
mostly farmland.
I don't think
We can run through fields. It's not that bad.
Well,
Barbed wire hasn't been invented yet, has it? Or something worse that's magical?
Just farmers'
It's like,
dogs. That's the thing we have to worry about, the dogs.
what's that movie?
I don't know.
Oh, brother, where art thou?
Yes.
That's us.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
We thought you was a toad.
Do not seek the treasure.
But, well, if you all want to keep off the road, I think we're following your lead, Evie.
Follow my lead. It shall be. We're going into the Brambles and Briars.
Into the Brambles.
We're literally just running. We're just literally running alongside the road, not on the road.
Brambles, Briars!
Yeah, so how far are you staying away from the road? Are you keeping it out of sight? Or are you keeping it in sight and just trying to, like, sneak through the fields? Because you are in pretty, like, tall fields around here. You know, nobody mows the lawn in an area.
Why not?
It's corn season. The stalks are tall.
Corn
so
season.
It's right before they start doing the haunted ones. So
Yeah.
we
Hope we don't get caught in a maze.
Exactly.
Literally, like, they pull necromancers in and they just, like...
Animate some skeletons.
It's part of, like, a curriculum thing at
Yes.
Paladin Academy. They have this great, cool, like, haunted show.
It's a fundraiser.
It's really sad you guys are going to miss it.
Single tear.
Are
there any-
and spirit talking?
Like landmarks of sort, like, is there like a river we could follow, anything like that?
I
I mean, besides, the biggie.
oh, yeah, that's
We're not
pretty
even
far away.
close
Yeah,
to
you're-
it, so.
Yeah, so there's a creek. Willow Creek.
Can we see Terrebonne in the distance?
No,
or-
so you're still about 18 days away from Terrebonne.
Okay, so it's okay.
So right now it's just kind of like a field. You kind of see this little, like, forested area off to your right where it kind of just leads into a small forest that shall have a name if and when I decide it needs a name. And then on the left there is the long road, obviously.
I say we circle back, kill everyone in the town, so there's no witnesses, and
Sounds
You're leaning into the rogue thing, aren't you?
I need a long rest before we attempt anything like that. I do think, I mean, it's worth a shot. Let me discuss with you all. I think we would do well to follow this creek. Also, Kes had messaged me about knowing our location. Perhaps I could send him a quick message and see if he's nearby.
I wouldn't mind a lift if we could get one, but did he say why he wanted to know where we were?
He said that he had a large delivery. I assume that he maybe needed our help with protection. I have no idea. Bless his heart, he's not great at writing back in a timely manner.
It'd be worth giving a try. just to see.
I mean, how far have we traveled at this point?
Yeah, you're probably about
Oh, sorry. Everyone just
you're probably about 1,000 yards from like you
that's
guys have been talking for a little bit, so like
Let's pick up the pace.
Yeah, let's run for a bit until we feel like we've gotten
Probably
some
better.
distance.
We don't want anyone to see the airship coming and docking in a weird
Rightly
place.
Why don't we get off the road, find a little copse of trees or something that you could pause,
Brambles bush?
send a message to Kes, and then we continue on until you feel your ring go cold.
it's already cold.
Let's find that copse.
Find the copse.
Of tree.
Oh, no wonder I haven't been sweating. It's been keeping me cool this whole time.
So chilly. Okay, so yes, we would like to find a little grove.
Sure. So let's see here. We're gonna find a chocolate.
Roll for growth.
Roll for growth. So as you guys kind of start running for the trees, you can see lanterns in the distance. There are some in the field coming out from behind the wall. You see you faintly hear the pounding of hooves as a patrol starts running up. You can see the Greenwood Knights and the Arcanum all working together. Lanterns at the readiest as one goes down the long road, is heading southwest, and the other one heads more north towards Terrebonne. Or, well, technically, the next major town is Bell's Watch between Terrebonne and Willow Creek Hollow. So that would be where they were heading that way. So let's go ahead and get some stealth checks from everybody. That sounds like fun.
No.
Stealth checks.
I'm just going to grab my all ones dice for this.
Oh, I have disadvantage too.
Oh, you and your heavy armors.
10.
My second was a nat
It's
20,
just
but
medium.
my first was a 16,
medium armor.
18, 19.
19?
Yep. Dirty 20.
I thought maybe the 5 would have got it, but I have to go with 3.
Bolt, you bag of
Bolts?
Bag of use?
Bag of me's?
Just use all the way down.
Actually, so 4.
Sorry?
Running through the
10.
corn
10.
gets you all rusty. And
And
squeaking every step. 17.
17?
How am I the stealth?
That's your hometown. You know, you know where all of
You've
the
been running from the law for longer.
Hey,
It's only like a week longer.
Well, you're lucky that I'm grading on a curve, as it were. Majority rules here. You guys are able to kind of like hunker down in the grass and move silently. The patrols are still like continually heading this way, but they haven't spotted you and they haven't raised any alarms yet. So you do award yourself a... Was that my dog?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hey,
You
and
do...
neither did you.
Gotta keep it in now. You talk directly to the audience. I don't know, like...
I'm breaking the fourth wall, guys. I don't know what's going on.
You do find enough time to receive this message. Just a couple minutes to take a look at it before you guys have to move again.
Okay.
Because you have to be constantly on the move at this point. Like there's no stopping, or else you're probably going to be discovered unless you find a super secretive place to hide.
What does it say?
So the message says, in Salsport, lots of fish heading towards Ruby Oasis. Interested?
Are you reading it out loud to everybody, or is that just...
Yes.
Salsport
I received a message from Kes.
Well, Salsport was west of Six Hills, and then Ruby Oasis
This is the Ruby
is
Oasis.
up above the beacon.
I would be interested in going
Which
to
is
Salsport.
near the marshlands, which is my first clue.
What's in Salsport for you, Victor?
I believe when I was talking to... I'm remembering slowly.
We're running. It's hard to.
Was it that...
No, we're hiding in the grove.
when I talked to
Yinny.
Yinny, when I spoke with when I spoke with Yinny, she said someone was in Salsport that might have a
Yeah,
connection to the Onyx Ring.
she said that an old member of one of the 8 rings was in Salsport.
Was in Salsport. Okay.
And she knew that much.
Nothing. Just a lead from Yinny that there might be someone from the rings that I might be able to talk to.
Well, I'm afraid Kes is far too far away from us to help us right now.
Immediately. And we do have this pressing matter that we're supposed to get to Terrebonne for.
It might also
Smarties?
the
when they were talking about there was 3 of the onyx ring that came through, right? From the recap.
Yeah, so they said that the third ring.
They were heading which direction?
They were heading towards Terravon.
Towards Terravon. Okay.
I go with either way. It'll be fine.
Perhaps you should ask how long he's going to be in Saltport and Ruby Oasis.
Okay.
And I'm curious why he might want us with him.
Agreed.
Probably.
Do I have time to send a message?
Not right now.
Can't send a message right now, boys
Well,
and girls. Girl.
Just
Everyone.
hop on my back and then right on my head, top of my
The
head.
sloppiest.
I'll even take
sweater.
the crown off gently.
That bird. Yeah, don't disturb
Don't
the bird.
disturb the bird.
Might be a
If you walk without rhythm.
I think we just need to keep running.
Let's go.
Okay. So you guys continue on for an hour or so.
Why is Greenwood chasing us anyway? We didn't do anything to them.
they patrol the long road.
Don't they have better things to do, like kill trolls and things?
Perhaps the Arcanum has just
No,
enlisted
they leave
their
that to
help.
us.
It's true.
But why is the Arcanum after us? Well, but how do they know that you're in town?
I think they're just looking for whoever burned the building down and killed this giant construct and left it.
Then why are we running? We
Carcass
didn't
there.
do it.
I don't know what tools they have, but I'm sure they can sense
The old bolt school of
residual.
thought. Got it.
They can sense
No.
residual chronology magic, I'm sure.
Perhaps
And
you're
they
right.
know that
Can't you wash your
something
hands or
illegal-
something?
Well, it's left on the scene of the crime.
Is it like gunpowder residue? Like after you like,
It's like a
he's
damp-
Yeah. My finger is aged
sands
3
of time
years.
yeah.
Takes a while before it de-ages.
Settle little fingers.
I have old man fingers.
You got you've got Dumbledore hand.
That's the
That's
name
why
of
they love
the episode. For this old man fingers.
Old man fingers. Yeehaw.
Well, I mean, these are all just questions that are going through Sarah's mind as she's running.
So after about an hour, I need everybody to make me a dexterity saving throw. Actually, as you guys are running along, basically you're running through the dark. There's a lot of traps, or not traps, but there's a lot of hazards. These farmers don't like things running through the dark.
12.
Did we get inspiration at the end of last episode?
We did.
I believe so.
You give it to everyone.
I'm not going to use it.
It's on camera.
I got a 6.
You can't say
Was
no.
that last episode or 2 episodes ago?
That was less of
5.
I have it still.
5.
I have it,
6.
but I'm not going to waste it.
12.
Dex
12.
save, right?
Yep.
14.
13.
Bolt is the only one who does not avoid. Or, sorry, who does avoid.
Oh.
like,
We're playing
Golf
high-low
rules.
and you went too high. So.
everybody else takes 8 bludgeoning damage on, like, basically rocks and tumbling down ravines.
Is it a swinging log from the tree? Is what it
Like I said, these farmers, they don't
Well, it
want
makes
to
sense
do
for
it.
him because he just goes through it and just, just like.
Brambles? What are those? I don't know.
And then also,
Why isn't he in the front?
What do you mean also?
each of you has either a -1 to attack rolls or -5 feet of movement speed as a minor injury until you're healed. So I just pick either
I'll take 5
5
feet.
1
Take
minus
5
5 feet.
Take the 5 feet.
I'll do 5 feet as well.
I sprained my ankle.
All of a sudden, I'm like
Nobody
pulling away, and I'm like, what?
Yeah,
How am I the fastest?
everybody tripped on the same route.
What after
It
the
was,
It's dominoes.
then Victor's just like, oh, right behind.
You could have warned us about it, Bolt.
jerk? I just ran through it, and it just like broke.
Okay. After about another hour of wandering, or not wandering, running. You guys are not really wandering through. The lights in the distance have grown dimmer because, like, they're making haste, but you guys are just in like full on dead sprint. Like they're taking the time to be careful and not trip over roots or anything like that.
Wait, are they on our trail then?
They are like well, they're doing like a sweep through the fields,
Yeah,
right? So they're not really like there they are after them. It's just kind of a
Set up a search perimeter.
where are they
Everybody
moving
hold
around
hands.
back and forth, lanterns at the ready, kind of just grid pattern search. Every now and then you do see like another patrol run up or run down the long road. It seems like they're just trying to figure out where you guys are.
Wait, come back. We want to give you the key to the city for saving it.
That's what they should be doing.
Oh, really?
And let's go ahead and what is your intelligence?
Passive?
Your ability modifier for intelligence.
+5.
+5?
Yeah.
What about yours, Bull?
+3.
+3. So you guys are running along, and Ezra, you feel the tingle of magic, like as you pass by an area. Not an area, but
A specific area.
A specific area. Didn't think about the consequences when I named this world.
So I'll kind of slow down.
Do you have the Peter tingle?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about. I don't want to hear about your Peter thing.
I was going to say something, but I decided not to.
So
So thank you.
interesting.
Well, you missed out on the epic dive.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, I got it. Go back.
Yeah, I'll spend a couple seconds to just do a
Okay.
quick investigation or an Arcana check or something.
Yeah,
or
so
whatever.
you can either take some time to search, or you can, if you have detect magic prepared, you can cast that. Obviously, as a ritual, probably wouldn't be beneficial at this time.
Yeah, I only have it as a ritual, so I will just search.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
Okay.
What is it, boy?
Is
What do you sense?
14?
A 14. In the few, just looking around a few seconds, you can't quite get a beat on it, but you know that something is within about 100 feet of you.
All right. I will shout that out to everybody to be aware of magical warding runes or something. There's magical energy in the air. Keep running.
Okay. So you move about 30 or so more feet, and that feeling just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And despite not looking for it, not looking really hard for it, you end up stumbling upon it. And you kind of walk through, and all of a sudden, the field around you just kind of disappears, just within a 5 or 10 foot area, and you can see that it's just cleared, and there's a small hatch. And the rest of you watch as Ezra basically, it almost looks like he falls down into another ravine or through another root, but he's just gone.
Ezra!
I will go in there. I'll open the hatch.
Okay. So you open up the hatch, and there is a little ladder leading down into a tunnel.
Let's pop back up. Hey guys, I found something.
Yeah.
Can we see him?
Yeah, he pokes his head through reality almost.
Weird.
It's just a
I'll
disembodied
follow.
head.
So will I. This is better than. I have a side ache.
My feet hurt.
Plate armor is very heavy.
It is.
So you all descend down into this hatch.
I should have had everyone stretched before our run.
And the last of you that goes down, I'm assuming that's Bull.
Yeah, I'll go down last. Make sure the hatch is
Yeah.
closed.
It's a pretty sturdy ladder, so that's good. That's good for you. But yeah, you close the hatch after you.
I'll just turn the seatbelt into beanbag mode right as I hit the ground.
Yeah, there you go. Cushion your fall.
It has an airbag, yeah.
That's not how the seatbelt works.
As soon as my feet touch the ground, I can say, I use a bonus action.
Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
No, only if the ladder broke. If it didn't break,
It didn't break.
All right, I'm good.
Don't try and assume that you can get away with things, though, or else the ladder will break. So you guys kind of descend into this little landing area. You can see a single lantern with kind of a magical little light flickering in and out of it. Not in and out of it. It's just it looks like one of those dancing lights. It's just kind of, it's almost like bouncing around inside the lantern. At one point, it hits the corner and everybody goes crazy. But and then there's a tunnel that is about 10 feet wide and 8 feet tall, and it leads just deeper into what appears to be some sort of man-made dugout.
Let's take a moment. Ezra, what is this place? Do you know?
No idea. Never seen it before in my life.
Okay.
Searching the immediate area while she's talking, is there any traps that I can
Roll me an
see?
investigation.
Is there any
farmer?
rubble bricks, pieces of bricks, or rocks, or anything nearby?
So what specifically are you asking? Why are you asking? Like, there's a few like rocks kind of scattered about, yes, but there's nothing like identifiable.
Because I was going to use my magical tinkering and create some 5-foot radius light, like pebbles and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make 3 of them and take 3 actions for it. I'm assuming I have.
Yeah, we're not in combat.
I have
so-
18 seconds to do this.
Yep.
and I hand 1 to Eve and I'll hand 1 to Ezra as well.
So Victor acts like he's going to look for traps, but really, this floor is it like stone?
It's dirt, like
Okay.
like somebody
Is it
carved
cool
it.
to touch?
Yeah.
He's like sticking his face to it and just enjoying it because I rolled a natural one.
No traps here, guys.
By the way,
Are there any traps in the fridge? Let me check.
it tickles me, Glitterbug Pink, that you completely forgot about your magical tinkering when you went into the crystal maze,
Yes,
and
that's
you
true.
were completely in the dark and having somebody lead you along, and you could have just created your own light source.
Yep, I could have.
He's just trying to see how trustful we were.
He's old. He forgets things sometimes.
I have.
Cut him some slack.
I have Alzheimer's.
Oh, that's
machine.
not funny.
timers.
That's sad. I'm sorry.
So what is the plan?
I'm Eve.
Are we continuing on?
Oh, nice to meet you.
Okay.
Yes.
While we have a second, I feel like we're somewhat safe. Let me send a quick message to Cascas. Would that
Perhaps
be
we
all
could catch our breath
Yes.
That would be nice.
All right.
before we investigate what's down that tunnel.
I'm just gonna go like 10 feet down and just kind of like see if I can see.
So let's see here.
There's a shattering sound, and then
So, You can see. You can see down the tunnel. It goes even further than like 10 feet. It goes. It continues to go downward, so you can't quite see anything yet. But it just seems to be kind of just gently sloping deeper into the earth itself. Okay.
I take the take the pebble that I enchanted with light, and I just toss it down.
So
the ramp.
it goes about 20 feet, and then smacks into a wall, and you can see that there's a little turn to the right.
Okay. Looks like there's about 20, 25 feet before it takes a turn.
All right. Well, Eve, you said you wanted to send a message.
Yes, I'm sending this message to Cascas. I'm asking him how long he'll be in Salsport and Ruby Oasis, and what he needs our help for.
Sorry, I forgot to take this back from you. That's mine. You
Um,
didn't do what you were supposed to do.
Give it up voluntarily. You can't just.
Okay, well, I will try. I will attempt to take it from.
We both have an
Wrestling
8 strength,
match.
I'm guessing.
The weakest
Remember-
fight ever.
I'm just kidding. No, when you hold your hand out, I kind of, I'm like, I warned you that I wouldn't run away, and you're grateful that we did, or else you'd be dead.
I should have
You're
trusted
welcome.
Victor.
He would run
Victor's
into
still on
a
the
wall.
floor.
or
Yeah,
something.
Victor is just laying on.
I should have trusted Bolt. Actually, I don't even know if I can trust Bolt with that.
Yeah,
should
you
have
all-
trusted myself.
So, as a reminder, you all did see Bolt do some weird magic this time that seemed to emanate from the cavity on his chest,
Oh,
rather
that's
than
right.
from
Did, like,
his
the
person.
random-
Yeah, it was like
Oh.
yeah.
What's happening with you?
I wish I knew. I'll have to go to the marshlands to see if I can figure it out.
I'm a regular J.J. Abrams, just adding secrets on his face. Will I answer him?
ever expanding.
Lens flares.
Yep.
Every time we turn, one of the rocks is
Yeah.
across the screen.
Perfect.
That was very interesting.
Well, Jaja, I'm not going to apologize for not running away. And yes, that's your new nickname for today.
Jar Jar.
Ja.
Oh, I'm used to not Jar
I'm
Jar.
trying it out.
That's right.
We'll see if it sticks.
Ja a not.
Negative advantage. Negative inspiration, not advantage.
Well, it was worth a shot,
Just like
but it
people.
will not stick.
Beautiful.
Maybe while we're
No frowny face.
making our way down this terrifying tunnel, you can explain to me what you did that you have to be blindfolded.
Maybe he could explain while we rest for a moment. I need rest.
Solely on the
Yes.
You have
Are we able to
wings,
take
I
a rest, a
understand.
short rest?
Yeah, if you guys would like, you can take a short rest.
Okay.
I don't see any wings, but you say you have 8 of them.
No, it's not a literal thing. It's like a thing of a house
Oh,
or of a circus.
A ring?
Need some
Wait.
hit die
Both.
recovery.
Don't talk until I... Hang on.
And then when we go to this place, we do this thing.
Wait, I'm resting!
I'm missing a D8. I don't suppose
This
you
is
guys
when the
have a
cutscene
stray
starts speeding
D8
up
that I
quicker
might
and
have
quicker.
left here sometime.
Also, don't forget about your snuggles.
Oh yeah, that's an extra D6.
Yes.
Okay, so
I'm
that-
snuggling up with Tufflepuff.
I feel much better.
Also, all of you who healed can remove that 5-foot movement limitation. You have taken
Thank
it.
goodness.
And you all have extra.
Take turns
my ankle.
rubbing each other's
You get
ankles.
nothing in life.
We're just sitting there. Foot rubs.
Sassy man.
Foot massage
So
circle.
good. This is a pressure
Bolt's just
point.
standing
That
like, come on, guys. Like, let's go.
No,
You're telling
we
us a
we
story.
have an hour, so we would like to know more about.
Tell us about your wings.
Which page?
What is it true? Have you done something sort of that-
naughty.
Yes. Well,
I mean, besides with...
well yes.
Victor, we knew you were a regular rebel. We knew it all along.
Well, it's kind of a long story, but essentially, I kind of screwed up. I went through my father and my mother. They gave me the invitation to do the chrysaling. Are you familiar?
No.
The
what?
Chrysaling, like
that's where you turn into a butterfly.
Didn't you?
Yes.
You mentioned something about that back at the theater thing.
Yes, it's kind of like a coming of age. You become something more than just yourself. You become part of one of the wings. When we talk about wings, we're talking about the different ways that people believe. So you can have lots of different belief systems, but we all fall under one organization, if you will.
One coexist bumper sticker.
Yes, we we all have there's a core creed that we all follow, but to which degree and to which portions that we adhere to more or less, each ring has their own. The Onyx ring, you might have heard of. They are very good at assassination. They believe that by holding up that document, that creed, if you will, that is their way of honoring it. My family is not of that creed, but each of us go through what's called the chrysaling to prove ourselves. And I proved myself a little foolish. I went through the different tasks. Normally you take 2 or 3, and then present yourself before the primes and tell them that you are prepared. And before you have...
Are these the heads of the ring?
Oh, yes. Sorry, I forget that not many outsiders hear these. The prime is like, in a tribe, it'd be chieftain, or perhaps like a mayor. I don't know what.
And
other-
your mother
Makes
is the prime, is she not?
Yes, and it's won by either cunning or by strength. Strength of mind is basically the person who represents and leads us. It's a very, how do you say, like a stratocracy. The strongest sit up top. And you get through it, and long and short of it, I was supposed to choose one of the wings, and I got cocky. And so I had actually opened all of they use what's butterfly. It's very, very, how do you say?
Like a metaphor.
Metaphorical, yes. There are these butterflies that they have in these cages, and you choose one, and you, when you open it, it flies to the prime, and if they accept, then it comes back. It tells you that they accept you into that. I opened them all, thinking that I had done all the tests, that I deserved to be whatever I wanted. I didn't have to choose one. And the Apex was very angry at this, and he told me that my passion and my hubris blinded me. And so in a very real way, as punishment, they removed my sight and told me that I was not to return until I was able to prove that I had learned from my mistake. And the only way I was able to make ends meet, if you will, is to, people know what the rings look like. And nobody wanted to hire me as somebody at the bar. They wanted me as the bodyguard or whatever. So I found work elsewhere.
And so, how is it that you are to prove yourself? Did they give you a certain task, or?
There are a couple ways. My mother actually, she was granted one boon. Because I was her son, she was able to grant me at least a little bit of sight, and that is unusual for this. But she was able to unlock, I guess, that boon that she accepted me in some form or fashion. But she was disbarred from allowing me to join that wing.
The fourth? The ruby wing?
The ruby wing, yes. Very... Yes. So now I search for someone who might be able to help. I don't want to go back and I don't want to screw up again. I want to be able to fix it and make sure I did it right. And I hear that there are people who have gone through it as well and that don't operate either in the rings or maybe they're out in the world, and I'm looking for some of that information.
And is that why you think Salsport might be a good place to go?
Possibly. Or it could be a red herring, I don't know. Just looking for different masters of different things. I also want to learn other ways of... each wing fights totally different. Like some use different weapons, and I'd like to learn each of them and master them in my own way.
So, upon proving yourself or being accepted into one of these wings, at that point, you have your sight restored?
In theory, yes. That I have to prove myself to either one of the primes or someone who has the power to restore my sight. That is not in my family. That was one of the only conditions, the primary condition that the Apex or my entire lineage would be put to death.
It seems like they sent you on a task that you're not meant to complete.
Indeed.
Are all of your family members of the Ruby Wing?
It's difficult to explain, but my mother is always been from Ruby Wing. My father is actually more of a forge. He's better with making knives. He made this. Shiny shows Shadow Song. But he was actually from a different wing. He actually came from... I need to get...
Was he Onyx?
Seeing, I believe it was... The Onyx one? Hold on, I got it written down here.
Was it a scandal?
He was
Onyx and a Ruby getting together?
No, it's pretty normal. He was a skilled craftsman of the third... It's not important. I'll find it later. I have it written down in here somewhere, and I don't want to go through the 21 pages. When they marry, whoever is the higher status, which was my mother, they take on her name, and they become part of their wing.
So, do each rings have the same amount of power and say in your...
To varying degrees. There are some that deal in assassination. There's some that are better at information and the passage of it.
I mean more on a social...
Political.
Is there one more powerful, one that's better?
The Apex rules above all. He or she has proven themselves as the strongest, the smartest, the most cunning. They sit on the very top.
And the Ruby Wing, what are they good at? What do they specialize in?
The creed of that particular wing, it's about passion, and that can be the passion to kill, the passion to protect, the passion to love someone. It is mostly about being true to your core passions, and on top of the core creed.
I have a question about them taking your sight.
Yes.
Was it magical in nature, or perhaps medical? Did they physically remove the organs themselves?
Or was it just the blindfold?
Well, it's actually, yes. And so he'll pull back his hood that usually he keeps up kind of forward,
and the I guess the headband or it's like this thing you can visibly see where it's like pinching off, like super tight type stuff, where he just, like it, this is sometimes put on traitors depending on if you what level of disgrace you've put on yourself and your family when you're cast out. And mine was because of my blind pride. They put this magical item, and again, I could go and have someone remove it with a curse, but if I don't fulfill my end of the bargain, then it is not. It besmirches my honor, and I cannot face my family that way.
Didn't you just say that you did not want to go back?
I do want to go back, but for different reasons. I don't want to become part of what's there. I want to show them that there are better ways than some of these dogmatic.
You want to overthrow
ideals.
The apex.
I don't. There is a little. I would be lying if there wasn't a little bit of anger and frustration at the stupidity that he can sometimes pervade. But I more so want to be accepted by each of those families and help them. It's more of a subservient role. Like, you are the top, but you also are the bottom. You are the foundation that holds everything.
Perhaps once we've finished our business in Terabon, we could maybe book passage on some kind of vessel and travel towards Sauceport.
Perhaps Keskes might be willing to meet us in Terabon. Of course, we're 18 days from now.
East or west?
Well, yes. I was supposed to go east, and I've done so, and apparently we're continuing to go east. Any more insight you've got for me, Craggy?
No.
Crickets.
No. Yeah, crickets.
Like,
that's the type of music.
I'm just, I've hooked up with Evie here. Craggy seems to like that. Seems to like that we're all together. And at this point, I suppose I'm just following my nose.
Victor, what is the core creed?
The core creed itself, it's you know how people, they say that they are knife dancers. Yes, they do things that are very similar. Well, in the rings, it's also very, very how do you say? But I guess it's best to explain a little bit about what they are. Like, one of them is, once you have given the invitation and you accept, then you are in some way become part of the blade. It is as much a part as your possession as it is a piece of you. And you must treat it as such and never leave your sight. That is why it's so odd that we found this other dagger, and pull out Blackthorn, from Glitterbug's thing. Is usually it would mean death. Or extreme, at the very lightest, extreme dishonor, to leave it behind. But one of them is to have honor above all things. I need to get it in front of me because I have it here. So you never neglect your blade. It is a direct reflection of your soul. Your dull blade is a dull mind. It can only lead to sorrow. Protect those in your ring with honor. Teach those without, and ravage those who are unpenitent.
That seems a bit intense.
A drawn blade
Explains a lot.
is to support your beliefs, defend those you love, or to smite your challenger. You may collect what you kill, but only if done with honor. Seek knowledge before bloodshed. The truth will guide your blade. Should you falter, your ring will suffer. Receive gifts with only but one hand, that the other remain unsullied for your blade. And the last one that we all kind of pull together on is that the dance of death is solemn and holy, and that each execution should be a masterful artwork to be remembered, for both you and for the person who is to die. And these things, each of the wings takes some of these tenets, and they latch onto them a little more than the rest.
I see.
I've done research in the past, and it sounds like you may be in some sort of murder cult.
What do you mean? It's dogmatic, but it's not a cult.
No, this is why he wants to change things.
Yeah, but I can see where that's it can be
quite
extreme.
strict, quite intense.
And it's open to interpretation too. The prime that is leading each of those rings can heavily influence. So if it changes, one day it could be sunshine and rainbows, as I hear say. Other days it could be dark, troubling clouds of strife. Many years ago, the Onyx Ving actually ended up being getting into some pretty nasty business with some of the wars and things that are happening with different houses, and it's not a good time for us.
Player question. Is it ring or
Ring.
wing?
It's both.
It's Ving.
So ring is referring to the physical family location.
Okay.
Wing is referring to the belief system that they're following. So you can be, I guess, character. The way he would have, Victor would explain it is that his dad had core beliefs that were different than the Ruby Wing, but he joined the Ruby Wing because his mother was a higher standing.
Okay.
So he belongs to two wings because of that marriage.
But so it's Ruby Wing, Onyx Wing, and then your ring is like your family.
Yeah, so the ring, so Onyx, usually when they say like the Ruby Wing, Onyx Wing, etc., it's usually referring to the wing. And then the rings are the numbers. So like
1,
8th
2, 3,
ring,
4.
4th ring, 5th ring,
Okay.
1st ring. And that usually, because that just identifies that this, the first wing could be 50% Ruby Wing and other percent Onyx Wing, or it could be completely like purist and say no one can be anything but this.
And so the rings are cross wings, and are sort of like almost like a class hierarchy.
Yeah, just thinking like Jedi orders.
Got it.
Cool.
Yeah. And the rings is more like
you're
physical.
Elides of the Third Dawn.
It's a very confusing org chart.
Exactly. It is. And they have no physical like location. The only place that's like really static for them is there's a Colosseum that the crystalling happens, and that's in the Malagoth Mountains, and that's where the Apex and their ring stay.
It's actually on the other side of the river, though, isn't it?
I think so.
On the north side.
It's on the north side.
Yeah, so it's down in that area.
Technically, still the Malagoth Mountains, but it is on
Got
the
it.
opposite side of the river.
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome.
Well,
Thank you, Victor.
Sorry for a long exposition.
I've been dying to know about it, quite frankly.
Long rest and a half.
well, I certainly hope you find him someday. You are ready then? Whether I am or not, you've been more than fair.
Anything else we need to get off our chests?
I don't know.
Get in our chests? Bolts? Nothing?
Stuff is going in, out.
For the
It's all
record, I
around, I
am,
don't know.
as far as
When I looked at the Book of Bounties, I'm not in there, right?
No.
Okay.
for the record, I don't have any price on my head, so we're good.
Just us.
Just
only
you and
the
I.
cool kids, apparently.
The kids who struggle.
Yes.
Well, shall we see what's down this tunnel?
Let's do it.
I'll take point.
All right.
That's
Chill
something that
out.
remind me. I'd
I'm
like
gonna go
to
down and
learn
pick
what
the
you know
Pebble up.
Yeah.
of my history.
Of this, I think murder cults in general seem to be.
Well, not a lot of your history, just
Things
you
to
know.
avoid,
Yeah.
just like cliff notes.
So you go down 25 feet, turn around that corner, and it's just about another 10 feet, and then it turns around.
And then you hear,
And what is the order for everybody else, by the way? Technically, there is 10 feet, so you are able to, like, kind of whizzle past each other.
I can scout ahead.
Yeah, you're a rogue.
That's a
Do
good
roguey
idea.
things.
Do roguey things.
I guess I just got it. I'll go look for traps as we're kind of going along.
Okay.
Methodically, just checking for the typical like tripwires and.
Okay.
pressure plates.
Go ahead and give me a perception check for this one, please.
Okay. So this is perception. That is a total of 13.
So as everybody's like gathering up, you kind of slip into the hallway, kind of move past the light pebble, which you haven't picked up yet, because just you are gearing up. And you come around, and you're just about to hit that second corner when you hear kind of a soft scratch of like a boot, like scraping along dirt.
I'll stop.
You can't see anything, obviously. It's more than 15 feet away from you. But as you kind of just listen around that corner, you do hear every now and then like a sniffle or like a sharp breath or something that indicates somebody is waiting.
Does it sound like because like between adults and kids they have different kind of, it's not like a kid that's hiding out in the corner as far as I can tell, right?
Yeah, no, it sounds
like an adult.
It sounds like an adult, yeah.
Okay.
In fact, as you keep listening, it sounds like several adults.
Okay, so I'm gonna slink back. Or I want to try and stealth back, I guess, to make sure I don't screw something up. 17.
Yeah. You go and sneak back around the corner.
I heard some voices, or not voices, but I heard some multiple bodies. I don't know, can't see them. But problem, potentially.
Ezra, that familiar of yours isn't ready to go yet, is it?
It's already. It's ready. Yeah. Yeah, that was what in Willow Creek. I finished it for you.
All right. Let's start it up.
Okay. So take 10 minutes for the ritual. You kind of
gotta put the
infuse,
pipe in and click.
Yep.
The hair.
and the thing comes to life and gives you the classic Clash of the Titan hoots.
Nice, like Hermes.
So
Right.
here's my question: are you just going to leave it in
Athena's.
owl form? Because technically this has changeable forms in the form of little tricks and stuff that Bolt has put in this case.
I will leave it as an owl because I don't know that I know about the tricks.
Okay.
I mean, I would have told you.
With the Find Familiar spell too, you do know that
Okay.
it can
Change.
You could
change
shape-
to
you could
do
shape it with your
different.
magic
Yeah. Okay.
too, yeah.
So it'll be an owl form, and I'll just kind of have it fly over, circle back,
Okay.
if it can come back.
And you're going to be looking through its eyes.
Yes.
Okay. So what is the owl's AC?
That's a good question. I don't think I've added
Not
this
high.
yet.
I want to say it's like a 13 or a 12.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Actually, I don't think it is going to matter.
Its AC's 11.
Yeah. So it flies around the corner and kind of banks around to kind of get a good look in your eyes. You're seeing through its eyes. You can kind of see that kind of fishbowl lens look because you are looking through like mechanical glass. Mechanical glass. And it comes around the corner and you see a hexagonal room made out of dirt. You can see wooden buttresses that kind of come up around everything.
Yes.
I was waiting for that. Just to kind of hold everything together because technically like this isn't like solid rock.
Right.
I mean, even with solid rock you would need
Something. Some supports.
Yep. And you see an arrow fly out from behind one of several barricades where there are people waiting, and it smashes into your owl. I believe your owl only has one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so all of the magic comes back. The owl technically the owl, when you reform it, it will reform with the actual chassis and everything. But you do see one more thing as you shoot it. And that is that the archer is wearing a medallion with a golden hourglass on it.
We went right into the wolf den.
Well,
So I'll work out of it. There are bad guys with the hourglass.
So would you say, how long do I have till they get here?
Probably any second.
let's spring the trap.
I got caltrops.
It didn't look like they were heading
They're
towards.
just waiting.
Okay, they are hunkered down
Right.
behind barricades.
Are they
It
close
looks
enough
like-
together for you to go?
Not
Well,
at that
Maybe.
level. They are waiting to ambush. It looks like
How many were you able to see?
Go
more
ahead and give me
than
a
5. Okay.
We'll just go ahead and
Natural 20.
natural 20. Nice. I was going to have you roll advantage too because technically it's an owl.
It
But
has-
yeah, there were 6 of them.
There are 6 of them.
I've got an idea. Bubble of darkness, run in, charging, screaming.
I mean, I'm itching to get back at these bastards. Let's go for it.
They obviously seem like bad guys.
They might be the ones who sent.
They may not be bad guys. Just because you are a bad guy.
Doesn't mean you are a bad guy.
They had the medallion.
Let's see if we can keep one of them alive for questioning, perhaps. Craggy?
You like say it.
You just hear this ominous kind of murmuring.
Wow.
Those are scary dog noises.
Okay, so is that the plan?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay.
You will need to
Before
extend
we
your
do.
chain again to have somebody lead you, and Ezra as well.
Yeah.
I have dark vision.
But
Oh,
not in darkness.
sorry.
Darkness.
Are you going to pop that before we run? Or
Yes.
as soon as we get it? Okay.
Save myself a round.
Okay, then
Absolutely.
yes, I will be holding on to somebody who can see.
I'd just like to cast Bless before we do that.
Okay.
Would that be okay?
Yeah.
On Sari, Bolt, and Victor.
Is it D6 or D4?
D4.
Perfect.
Bless.
Simply the bless.
Yeah, and I say like let's just walk up to that first corner right before where they can't see us,
Yep.
and maybe put everyone who can see in darkness. So it's just the three of us
Up in front.
in front in the bubble.
Okay. So before we get into the next phase here, let's just roll initiative off the bat.
Come on, baby.
I'm using my advantage.
Okay.
No, actually, I'm gonna save that.
Okay.
My inspiration.
Come on. For the love of all things holy. I roll so poorly for initiative
Right.
in this.
20 for Eve.
I'm re-rolling.
For Eve.
I'm using my inspiration.
17.
17.
Worst. Oh no.
Why?
A 2 and a 1. Good use of inspiration.
Victor.
You have Bless.
24.
Does that work
It
for
doesn't apply
initiative
to
roll?
initiative, I don't think.
Ezra.
11.
11. And Seredan.
4.
It's a
uses
separate
your
roll,
ability,
but it also
Uses
uses
your
your.
So
No, just your dex.
you all.
Just to be
Yes.
clear, I wanted to cast darkness before
Yes.
we came charging around the corner.
Yep. I have to rain on your parade a bit, but yes, you do
Okay.
cast darkness.
That's fine.
And then you guys come around the corner, and basically there's this big burst of darkness that comes out into the room. And Seredan, as you hit that first step, you feel a rune underneath you light up and dispel your darkness.
Oh, shoot.
All right. Oh, I need to mark.
Hi.
Dang it!
And we are in combat. Yep.
Dang it, Poppy!
Pierced by arrows.
So a couple other features that you notice in the room, you see that everything's illuminated normally. There are lanterns hanging from the buttresses that are lighting everything up. You see 2 archers in the back. You see 4 other people they seem to have daggers, and they're already like in the midst of like casting something. You can see this kind of golden like sand-like magic flowing through the air. And then you also see that along each of the walls, so there's a door against that wall, against the west wall, one against the northwest wall, and then one against the southwest wall. Okay?
3 doors.
Yep, 3 doors. And then on either side of those, basically on any of the doors, you see these big etched arcane runes that seem to have a lot of dust collected around the 5-foot area around the outside of the room where people have not walked. And you also see one uncovered in the center of the room that already is glowing brightly.
It's a rune
A rune.
on the floor.
Yep.
Okay.
So room here.
Yep.
And
Just
then
like a
2 back
10-foot
here?
rune. Yep.
You said?
So there's just one on each wall, basically.
Oh, on each
Yep.
wall. Okay.
They're above the doors?
There's not one above the doors, there's one on either side of the door.
Okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and sort these in the proper way.
Oh boy. Has it?
So there's that was I have to justify this. These guys were prepared for some other raiding party of magical nature, so they definitely were prepared for dispelling any sort of magical goings on. So doesn't mean you can't cast darkness again.
Would I
Just
still
happens.
have mage armor from the beetle fight?
It lasts 8 hours.
Yes.
Doesn't it? Yes.
That hasn't been 8 hours. Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna start off tonight
Just don't step on this rune.
with Victor. the rune that you stepped on had flared to life and then dissolved.
dispersed, okay.
Yep. It appeared to be a glyph of warding.
Got it.
I'm going to bonus action drop 2 daggers where I'm standing as I'm running.
Okay.
Making it look like a. Oops, dropped my daggers.
Oh dear.
So that's 5.
Drat.
So I'm going to stop you right as you hit that first wall, because the rune that you're standing next to lights up. And this kind of like golden magic flares out at you. I need you to roll me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh no.
If I'm blind, am I immune to the radiant effects? With Constitution save, it's a 18.
Okay. So you're going to take some damage here, but you're not going to take all the effects of this.
Okay.
You take 4 necrotic damage. As basically you feel as if like your personal time is accelerating a little bit. Like you age just a little bit faster.
Ezra, hit them, not me!
What?
And you can continue.
Okay, and then I will continue to him. So this wall goes all the way up, or is it like a half wall?
That is like a barricade providing total cover.
Okay, so I'm basically going to roll across.
Okay, so when you hit there, the second rune lights up. So I need you to make me another Constitution saving throw.
Oh,
And again,
Are they on the ground or on the wall?
they're on the wall, facing outward.
okay, another one. So this is.
So I'm sorry to ask this,
No, it's fine.
but there's runes on every wall.
Basically, every single like section of wall that you can see on the battle map here has a rune on it. The one that Victor just passed by is now gone.
Don't worry,
So he's triggering the one.
You
on this.
trigger
he's
all the
triggering-
runes, Victor.
I'll just run around the room and you revive me.
Thank you. Well,
There's one in the middle
no
too.
one's
Watch out
spell
for that.
slots.
As
and
long as
I'll-
it's not disintegration,
Well,
we're
yeah.
okay.
And yeah, it was a 19.
19. Okay. Again, you just take 4 necrotic damage. Yep. And then you can continue on, my friend.
I've got fingers that look like Ezra's. Old man
Old man
fingers.
fingers.
You haven't seen my fingers.
I'm going to attack.
Like a maverick hot dog that's been in there too long.
With my finger.
Dang, I'm rolling good. So that is going to be a 25 damage.
And this is just a melee attack.
This is
Shadow
melee.
Song?
Yep. Just a,
25 will hit.
okay, and this is going to be 1d4. There's no person adjacent to him, so that's going to be 5. I'm going to roll my epic dice just for freedom. So that's going to be 6 total
6 total damage.
damage.
Thank you.
And that's my turn. That's it.
Perfect. Then it is Eve.
Well, the runes that were triggered are like not glowing anymore.
Yeah, the 2 runes that were triggered on those walls have dissolved, just like the one that you trapped or triggered as well. These are more glyphs of warding if you want to know the
I
specifics.
warned you about them back there.
So the rune in the center of the room is already lit up,
Yep, that's already
and
glowing.
it's like right here.
Yep, it's just a kind of taking up that large creature square basically, 10 by 10.
But I want to run this way.
Yes, it is worrisome.
Peekaboo to this guy,
Alrighty,
and we'll attack with my longsword.
my long sword.
Add it to the sound effect.
Sound
We're- By the end of this, we're going to be able to do prank calls on people with just Tori's voice. Like, hello, this is Domino's. And then hang up.
Oh my goodness!
There you go.
So that is a 24 to hit.
A 24 will hit.
Can I re-roll that with my inspiration? My damage?
No.
Son of a... Okay, so that is for 5 damage.
Okay. So you come around the corner and you slam, and he brings up that kind of sand time thing, almost as like a shield, and it hits and it just shatters the shield and cuts into his arm a little bit. So you have dispelled his concentration, that's for sure. And you said
Good.
how much? Was it 10?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
No,
No.
it was 5.
Mm-hmm.
He's vulnerable, right? So it's 10.
Okay, sorry, just need to adjust something here. Okay, and is that all you're doing?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. The purple archer is going to go next. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Shush.
This combat is so terrifying. And the archer is going to line up and really kind of like zone in on Eve and make a pair of attacks. First one is an 18 to hit.
That is my AC.
Okay. That one has a little bit extra on it, a little extra oomph. 15 damage. Oh, wait. Yeah, well,
More?
no. No,
Less?
I just rolled the wrong dice, but I rolled it lower than it should have been, not higher, so I'm just going to leave it at that. And here's the second attack, which is even higher. And that one is just going to be 5 piercing damage. It's basically a pair of twains ring out and 2 arrows smack into you from behind. Not on your behind, just from behind.
Well, I keep extra special armor covering my bum.
That's where the shield goes.
Then you can do the Ace Ventura thing.
Yeah.
On your butt cheeks.
Yes.
Okay. Bolt. Speaking of butt cheeks.
I feel like there's some story I don't
Hold on, it's
know.
processing.
It's just a non-segue.
I'm gonna go ahead and move up. Let's see. Right up next to Victor,
Okay.
and I'm actually going to Vine Whip. Can I see this one? Is it
Yeah.
within range? I'm gonna Vine Whip this one, this black-based one.
Okay. Because of the angle of that, they'll have half cover against you, which will just be a +2.
Can I squeeze over this way then to get better view?
I mean, if there's a space in there, technically.
I mean, technically, yes. The rings are pushing them out.
Yeah.
Victor's like right
Yep.
there, so I'd be like
Yep.
right behind.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give that to you. Go ahead and roll your attack roll. Ah! He finally tripped over that root, guys. We got him!
There's a little delay.
Is that
Just call me
new
Internet
nickname,
Explorer.
Butt cheek?
Bolt cheek.
Bull cheek.
Yep, let's go attack. Use my inspiration on that.
Not become one of them.
Not much better. It's 11.
11? Okay. Yeah, they bring up that shield, that kind of sand shield, and it smashes against it.
And then I'm going to use bonus action. Actually, no, I don't have that. So I can use
Okay. Alrighty. The Silver Archer is going to go next, and that's 2 attacks on Victor this time. The first one is
My AC is 15.
Yeah, that's a hit then. And this one is one of their zone-in attacks. So you take 13 piercing damage. And the second one is a 19 to hit. So take another 6 piercing damage.
Victor goes unconscious.
Really?
You didn't heal from.
No, that's
Oh,
no.
but you took 4 and 4
From the
and.
glyphs.
Oh no.
As I was like, I got this. Hey, I can do this all. And I'm unconscious.
Oh no.
But I still have blast, right?
Does that apply to saving throws?
Technically
Yeah.
blessed.
For my
Is that
death
saving
saves.
throws?
Okay.
Oh, I do need a concentration check from you for those 2
Oh
attacks.
yeah.
14.
Check. Check.
13.
Okay,
We're
good.
good.
Excellent.
So concentrating. Yeah, so that archer just snaps off 2 arrows. You guys watch as Victor drops. And then... We haven't even got to the fun part, guys.
As I
Here's the fun part.
as I fall into unconsciousness,
Well, we're all
I
gonna
s-
die, so
Well, it's fun for me.
I see the
Um,
disapproving face of my mother and father as I fall into the darkness.
I need...
to do the dishes, Victor.
I need Seredan
I told my story and now I die.
and Eve to roll me Constitution saving throws, please.
I can start writing another 22 pages for my next one.
Just be Victor's brother.
use
Schminkter.
I'm just gonna use the epic die.
Sphincter.
There we go. That's a little better. 13.
Okay, 13.
18.
18, so you
Yep.
save, and you save. So
Nice.
a a pair of beams come down from above the ceiling, these magical rays, and slam into both of you. You feel like a little bit more sluggish, but nothing affects you too bad, Eve. Seredan, you will take half damage on this attack as a 4-eye-stalked creature with a bulbous body comes descending.
Gosh,
from the
are you
ceiling.
kidding me? Good thing it's
This
like
is
a baby
the
one,
thing we
but
done.
dang.
It's a gazer.
Where does it land?
It's going to land right in the middle there, yeah.
Okay.
That
Now,
must be
has
what
it-
that glyph is.
Is the rune still glowing, or
That is basically like it's glowing brighter with that around it.
got it?
So you're going to take.
Sometimes
Is that a baby behold?
You're going to take
player
6
character knowledge is
necrotic
hard.
damage.
Yeah, because I don't think.
And then,
I've seen any glyphs. It's just like, yeah, let's go.
Bolt and Ezra both need to roll me a Constitution saving
no.
throw again, as another one descends
Holy
from the ceiling.
Oh, natural one! I'm using my inspiration because I can't have a natural one right now.
Rebind.
A 3. Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine. 5.
5.
14.
Hey, so this is the episode
you
where we
save.
all wipe.
And
Seriously.
it feels like it's trying to like muddle your mind, but it doesn't do anything. And then you are going to take you're going to take 21 necrotic damage.
I'm still alive, but oh my gosh. I'm almost.
You went from old man fingers to just like, give me
I'm on a knee. It hurt that bad.
Wow.
Oh, and you give people an hour to prepare. Who's next? One of the other enemies.
on the chopping block.
So let's see. The gray one, I think that you were attacking. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Does
is
he
going
look into
to-
Eve's eyes and fall in love?
I can't do it.
He's charmed.
She's just too damn beautiful.
You're like, my love, kill your partner.
If you really love me, you will kill everyone in here, including yourself.
Prove to your
So
queen.
he is just going to. He's actually going to reach out, and you can see that
Touch
like
fate?
he's trailing time magic with him as he tries to grasp you with it. And he crits.
Oh my gosh.
Sweet
Eve
Christmas.
is probably dead.
So, this is the alternate universe episode.
This is where the multiverse branches.
It cuts to Ezra waking up and be like, oh, that was a crazy dream. We should make sure that doesn't happen the next time we go in there in this reality.
What is your hit point total?
What do I have right now?
What's your total hit points?
12.
12? Okay.
Eve is dead.
Yeah, so that was 41 necrotic damage.
So, hold on. Was this a saving throw
This
that
was
you
an
did?
attack roll.
An attack roll, okay.
Yeah.
So, never mind. I can't help you.
Well, she's not dead outright.
If it does more than her
Total.
half her total.
Well,
points.
it would need to take her to negative 36.
Okay, so
Right.
you're not
Yeah.
dead outright. You're unconscious. Okay.
Oh my god.
Sweet Christmas.
The healer's down. The
We don't
healer's
have- We don't
down.
have bless.
Yep, bless is gone.
Oh no.
It is very distressing, I know.
Oh wait, hold on. As a reaction, after a creature you can see within 30 feet makes an attack, this does apply to that. I'm going to make it re-roll.
Okay.
I'm using a Chronal Shift. I'm going to see it come and just be like, no, that was
So,
bad.
Instead, it's just a 19.
To hit?
Which
Yeah.
it's
That
That's
will
still
hit,
hits.
but it doesn't crit.
Okay.
So let's just go ahead and re-roll that damage.
I'm going to save it a little bit, I guess.
Good call.
Keep the healer alive.
Yeah, keep the healer alive at all
It was
costs.
41 damage before, right?
Yes. Now it is just 14 necrotic damage.
This is where we
That
call
still
in.
She's
takes me down.
unconscious.
Yep,
Okay.
still unconscious.
Shoot. It was worth a shot.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Stop.
trying, Ezra.
Ezra, it is actually your turn.
Thank you for trying.
And as you do that, you see like several eyes snap to you, and they go, "It is him."
Does he poop his pants a little bit?
Okay, I stay. I don't run away. 5, 10. Okay, I'm just gonna go right there and just be scared and then cast Shatter right here.
Okay.
And it goes 10 feet each
So
way.
what is it again? It's a dexterity
It's
saving
a-
throw.
I
think it's a con save, yeah, which isn't great.
Yeah, so it's a 20-foot cube.
Shatter, here we go. So it's a 10-foot radius. A 10-foot radius, yep.
Yeah, that's basically this circle.
Yeah, so I'll get the 4 of them.
Okay.
And it is a con save of 15.
So one of the archers will say purple archer and green aberration make their save. The others do not.
So that's 20 damage or half.
20 or half. Okay.
Nice.
Nice round numbers. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
You know what? Take an epic dice. I'm such a nice dungeon master.
Can I ask Eve?
Yeah, Victor and I feel a little differently about that right now.
Oh, and the barricade that the archers are in, it gets
Destroyed. Yeah.
yeah. Basically, as you come down with the sonorous sound and just shatter that, you can see the dirt like rumbling underneath as well.
So that was 10, 15, 20. I'll get up to Victor.
Okay.
And I'll end my turn there.
Okay.
Or can I? Well, that would it be an action to like rummage through him to see if he has like a healing potion, or do I need to do a full action for that?
That would be a full
Okay,
action.
so I'll just get there and then I'll stop.
Yeah.
Victor fell, and the bottle fell out, and he landed on his face, and then it soaks in.
You take damage from the glass shattering, but
Exactly.
and then it heals back up, and
Just make a headband of healing, and then when you fall, that's
So
wake up.
the tan member will run up to Bolt, and he will say,
Take your opportunity attack while you're dead.
he will say, surrender. And then he's going to actually lash out at you, even saying that with his hand here.
whoa, man, we barely know each other. Don't lash out at me.
And that is a 21 to hit.
Nice.
Okay. Takes 16 necrotic damage.
This is going to be the easiest recap for me.
All died. And then it's just, I hate Cory.
Okay. No, I wouldn't hate you if you died.
And then the one that you tried to lash is going to go, and she is going to rush up to you and do the same thing. Basically, they're just like sending this streak of magic at you. And that is a 17 to hit.
That misses.
Okay, so that one misses. Red is going to go for Sari.
Okay.
And in fact, actually, she just kind of comes up from behind the crate and launches a streak of magic at you. So I think it's just a
Streakers.
dexterity saving throw, please.
12.
12 saves. You duck under this kind of streak of magic as it slams into the back wall.
Tuck and roll.
Seredan, hi.
Finally. Can I know that we can drink a a healing potion as a bonus action. Can I give somebody else a healing potion as a bonus
I
action?
believe it is an action to give somebody else.
Okay. Dang. Well, in that case, I'm going to recast darkness on myself.
Okay. The slobbering aberrations in the middle of the room start looking a little confused. Suddenly, this field of darkness.
And I'm going to run up 5, 10, just next to Eve, so that this one and this one are in it. Red is not, that guy is.
Okay.
But Eve is in it. And I guess as a bonus action, I'm going to... I'll just use my Hexblade's Curse on... This one made it save, this one failed its save. That guy took some damage earlier from Eve.
Mm-hmm.
I'll use it on yellow.
Okay.
So that's good. That's my turn.
Victor, give me a death saving throw, please.
Victor.
Uh-oh. Is it a...
Do you have a bit? No, we don't have the. So is this is a con save, right?
No,
It's
it's
just
race roll.
10
So
or
10. Yeah.
everything else to roll with it. I'm gonna roll with inspiration.
Okay. What was it?
It was a 7. 15.
Hey, what's one save?
One success.
Eve, roll me a death saving throw.
Oh, Eve.
I failed.
Just a regular failure, not a critical failure.
Just regular. Okay. 3.
Alrighty.
Critical.
The purple archer is going to try and just try and find what is in that darkness and just fire a couple shots off at you. So here's the first shot.
Come on, hit your gazer friends. Pew pew.
On your
First
side.
one is a 16 to hit.
That's my AC.
Oh, lucky shot.
So take 15 piercing damage and then give me a concentration check, please.
Man.
Wow.
This was a mistake.
Wait, do I have...
This is like you are rolling so good, and we are rolling.
No, I
so
didn't
bad.
take Eldritch Mind, so I failed.
I have not rolled this good in a while. For sure.
Yeah, I failed.
Okay, so that first arrow hits you. The darkness is dispelled once again. The choir of the crags full on rages. You can hear the it's almost like screamo music in your mind as they can't quite get a hold on this darkness. And then the second attack will just be a normal one.
It's contextual.
That's
context.
a 10 to hit. So the second attack goes overhead and smashes into the wall.
Oh man.
Okay. Bolt.
Reach down and place my hand on Victor's shoulder and say, "We're not done yet." And I'm going to cast Cure Wounds.
Perfect.
I can do this all day.
As I vomit on the ground.
8
Rainbow vomit.
8 healing.
8 healing?
And
8 heals.
Thank you, Bolt.
Of course.
Okay.
Live to see one more attack.
I am going to.
Just gotta survive till my turn, I guess.
I thought I had a question, but maybe not.
I know I have.
Bolt definitely eats a full healing potion. He doesn't. He doesn't drink it.
The Viva La Dirt League style.
Yep.
And I'm going to do it as bonus action, so do the roll.
Okay.
That's 9. 9 hit points.
9.
So recover 9.
Good roll.
Okay, I only one from away from max. Whoops.
Yeah, I remember you have one.
The Silver Archer goes next, and they're going to focus on Seredan. They definitely don't want darkness this next time.
Don't worry, I'm out of spell slots.
Oh, thanks. They don't shift on over. Ezra, no. 21 to hit.
Hits.
Oh my gosh.
Goodness.
It takes 21 piercing
I'm down.
damage. Okay. And the second attack on Ezra, they'll just go left to right here.
Oh no.
And that is higher than what?
Oh no. Oh no.
8 piercing damage.
Yeah, I'm down. Like, here, let me help you, Victor. Oh, okay. I'm down.
And then it's the spectators' turns. And we'll just do an eye ray on each of you. Constitution saving throws, please. Sorry, on Bolt and Victor.
Oh, it's like each of us, the
No,
down.
yeah. No,
Cruel.
Bolt and Victor.
Con save. That's a 12.
13.
So Victor is paralyzed for 1 minute. And then give me another Constitution
Dallin
saving
is
throw.
having.
I was blind. Now I'm paralyzed.
You're paralyzed as well. And that gives them enough time to come around and basically knock you both unconscious as well.
Can we talk about?
So what character should I reroll?
And so ends the Tales of Aneria.
You know, I was just kind of sick and tired. 9 is enough.
One guy made a bad comment in the section. You know who you are.
Yeah, that was rude.
So what's going to happen now is darkness for a little bit. Not the good kind of darkness, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But several hours later...
Do I get any more vision stuff?
While you're asleep?
Yeah. Since I normally don't sleep at all.
Go ahead and roll me a history check.
9.
9?
gonna
You
retire all these
get to
dice.
relive the vision that you had before,
Same one.
and you do see. I'll say that the shapes are a little clearer. They're still vague. You can't tell like who they are, but you definitely see one that's far shorter than the rest, and you see one that's far larger than the rest.
Okay.
I'll give you that much. Several hours later, Victor, Bolt, Eve, and Seredan wake up in a vast rocky cavern. And all of you are basically chained to the wall with these magical glowing chains. You've been stripped of your weapons and armor, so you're down to whatever you wear under your armor, your underclothes, that sort of thing.
Except for me.
Except for yeah,
They cannot
yeah.
remove my armor without my...
You've just been given like extra manacles.
Yeah. Is that
Extra belts.
MANA-CLE manacles?
Manacles, yes. Yep. And you can kind of see this sigil carved into the ground that is kind of just glowing and everything. And you're looking around, and all you can see is kind of this large storeroom almost that this cave has been turned into. There's crates on either side, barrels. And as you guys are watching, you see this hulking form come around the corner, and this ogre is in kind of ragged cowhides is carrying a barrel from one side to the other, just kind of looking a little bit sullen and everything. But you are all awake. You're at 1 hit point each.
Does he say, "This is the pit of despair"?
And very importantly, Ezra is not with you.
Oh no.
Ezra is not.
Ezra.
Well,
Now, did you say, okay, sorry, we don't have our armor.
No
except
armor,
bolt.
no weapons.
Weapons, all possessions, just gone. We're just clothes, basically.
And you said he's looking sullen? You said?
Yeah, like he's just kind of like doing his duty rather than like enjoying it or looking like he's happy about it.
Do we see any do we see our possessions anywhere in the room?
Give me a perception check. Let's see.
Seriously. These dice.
Welcome to
Like,
Dice Jail.
Can I
3.
Can I see if I feel mine anywhere nearby?
As you kind of reach out with your kind of connection with these, you feel that your reach goes to about the end of this rune on the ground, and then stops. So whatever this rune is, it is dampening your mind and preventing you from reaching out to your weapons. But no, you cannot see your equipment anywhere specific. That doesn't mean it's not there. You just can't see it.
Okay.
Sarah just rages against the manacles. She's like screaming and like trying to just like rip her way out, basically.
Okay.
I'm assuming to no avail.
Go ahead, give me a strength check.
Yeah. 10.
Yeah, to no avail.
Victor suppresses a little bit of panic. And not having his blade.
Eve calls out to the ogre.
Okay. What did you say?
Say, hello there.
And the ogre stops, but doesn't look at you, and then just kind of like starts to move again, almost like he needs to hurry a little bit faster now.
Can you help us?
Hug not supposed to talk.
Why ever not? You have a beautiful voice.
They say no talk to prisoner.
His name is Hug.
Hug. Yep.
Well, if they say no talk to prisoner, don't talk to me. I am prisoner. She is not.
She is with you. She is prisoner.
But if they say prisoner, that's singular, yes?
Give me a persuasion check against ogre intelligence.
That is a 12.
That makes sense.
Then quickly, don't talk to me. They will see. I'll be quiet.
What can I do?
Do you know how to unchain me?
No, Hug can't unchain. Hug. And he kind of like tilts his head a little bit and pulls down the ragged cowhide, and you can see a similar like iron collar with similar runes. This is Hug in same boat.
Hug, do you know where we are?
Hug home? Well, not anymore. Now is storeroom.
I'm so sorry, Hug.
It's bad. And he just goes back to like, he puts the barrel down and kind of like sits down next to the rune and just kind of like
You need to
looks
talk.
really sullen.
Let it out. Hug, who are these people?
No specifics. Called Infinite Sight.
Infinite Sight.
At least that's what they say.
And you're their prisoner as well.
Am I allowed to talk to that one too?
Just me. Don't talk to me.
Yes, Hug prisoner as well.
That makes us allies, I believe.
You shouldn't talk to yourself either.
There's a lot of panic on the ogre's face at that. But he quickly kind of forgets about it.
Hug,
Yes?
if there's any way you can help unchain us, I think I can help with your collar. I'm really good with locks.
Magic Man says if collar removed, Hug become old and die.
Hug, are things in the storeroom here? Can you see our weapons or our clothing?
Hey, over there. And he kind of points to just one crate that you guys can't see behind like a couple of boulders.
Oh, it would be so good of you to bring those to us.
I'm not allowed to bring stuff to prisoners. I could go get guard.
Prisoner, you cannot bring it to Victor, but you could bring it to us.
I'll need the persuasion check at this point.
Whatever you do, do not bring anything to me.
Poop. Really bad.
Can I give her advantage?
You have a decent persuasion.
So 12. 12 actually.
That
That's like
I
get out
maybe,
of jail free
maybe. And he stands up and he starts like walking over there, rummaging through everything, trying to gather what he thinks is yours.
He comes back with your typical like.
Here's foodstuffs. So we're actually going to cut over while Hug is rummaging through items. Deeper in this hideout, Ezra wakes up in a chair. Hands tied, basically fingers tied together to prevent any somatic components. And
good thing I learned with my toes.
and there's a man standing in front of you. You can see the medallion that he wears. He's the spitting image of the description that Einor gave. And behind him are two cloaked figures that they don't appear to be moving about the ground. They appear to be floating just like a few inches above it. And as soon as you see them, you sense that wrongness of displaced time, basically. And he says, "You're awake, Ezra."
And you are.
Is that something that could be possible?
Yeah, you can start working on that if you like.
Okay, I would like to.
Okay.
See, that's awesome. The right tool for the right job.
So Bolt starts, like, as you guys are talking with Hug, Bolt starts,
transformer.
we're going back to this little room. Because
His finger, like, back.
You start just kind of, like, wiggling, and you can hear, like, gears and stuff shifting in Bolt's body.
Well, and there's like that rusty red magic that's starting to like
permeate the area.
Yeah, just kind of any like cracks in the armor, it kind of like just kind of seeps out a little bit.
Yeah. Anyway, back at the back in this other room, and you can see, like, as you kind of glance around, you can see a big writing desk, a large wardrobe, a large bed with a canopy over it, all kind of in this. It's still a dirt room, but it's looks like a little bit better put together. There's some blankets on the walls to make it look a little bit more.
Right.
And he goes, "My name is Thulian Crawl."
Thulian Crawl.
And you are exactly the person that we have been looking for. Or rather, this. And he kind of waves his hand, and the mage hand brings up the tome.
Obviously react to that.
Yep. I'm very impressed that you've been able to decipher pieces of it so quickly. I want to give you an offer.
Okay, I'm listening.
If you join the Infinite Sight as one of its chronomancers to fight against the Arcanum and bring about a new reign of order, I will let your friends go.
Well, I haven't aligned with the Arcanum for some time. Still feels like you're the bad guys here. The Arcanum may be misguided, but this is a whole nother level.
No, then you are foolish. And he guides the book over and lays it down on the desk, and he says, I have everything that I want. The book, all of the information that I need. And now I have this weird, uncooperative thread that I need to cut. And with that, he kind of reaches his hand out, and these tendrils of time basically start like wrapping around you and piercing through your skin. This is a ritual, this is a time ritual. You can feel yourself, kind of your mind being pulled back in time as he starts searching through your history, kind of laying it out almost like it's a book itself. And you're taken back to a day when you were really young, around 5 years old. You and your father, Trevin, are out hunting. And at one point, you pull back the bow after he teaches you how to wield it. And you pull it back, and on your first shot, you get a squirrel. And you can see from that point there are two diverging paths. One where Trevin just kind of nods in approval and you move on. And one where Trevin encourages that skill. He praises you for such masterful work with the bow. And it's that path that your fate line gets pulled into. It gets pulled from this path of Trevin leading you down, wanting you to be a wizard, going to Talazam Academy, becoming a wizard and running away from home. And instead of that, you become an archer. You go to a Talazam Academy still, but not for wizardry. You go as a Tushin apprentice. And you can still feel that tingle of magic as you attune and train with your bow and start developing different skills. And still on the day that you left before, Trevin does come to you as you come home from a successful hunt, hands you the book and tells you to run. And you run and you bring Bolt along with you, and you look through the book, and all you can decipher is Trevin's code. The rest of it makes no sense to you. There's no arcane runes in there that you can identify. There's no sort of chronergy that you can learn. And that all leads down the same path, and with a final snap almost in your head, you blink and shake away this feeling of wrongness. And you look down, and everything seems normal. You're wearing your standard leather armor. You can see your bow off in the corner, basically leaning up against the desk that this book that you never really understood came from. And Thulian goes, perfect. Now you're ready for transportation. and he just kind of snaps his fingers again, and you fall unconscious. Back in the cave, it's been about an hour. Hug has not really... He seems to be struggling with what he wants to do.
Can we take a short rest during that hour?
I mean, technically, as long as you don't struggle, right?
Yeah. As long as you don't struggle, go ahead and take a short rest.
Yes, thank you.
Hit points.
Don't have my snuggle beast, but
You get a spell slot back.
So my thing says it can coincide
snuggle
with a
beasts.
short rest. So can I also take the benefits of a short rest?
That's going to need some additional explanation later, but we'll get to that. And after about an hour, what tool does Bolt create for the right tool for the job?
Well, so it says it's the right tool for the job. So I want to be able to try to use magic to determine what kind of arcane lock is basically on the chains that bind all of us, including Huck.
Yeah. So you're able to make, now, for the sake of making this so it's not completely overpowered, allowing you to get out of any magic lock ever, this kind of desperation move is very heroic, and we're going to allow it. And you make sort of an arcane lockpick set, which consists of not a lock and like the standard kind of like 2 picks and everything. It's actually got it's a little like cipher wheel with a bunch of different arcane runes on it, and you finish it up and you press it against one of your manacles and you start going through the dials. So go ahead and give me just a proficiency bonus check. You are proficient with this tool.
Yeah, so it's just +2.
It'll be your proficiency bonus plus your intelligence.
Okay.
Yep.
The cursed episode.
Oh my god, I'm gonna go get a new dice. 8.
8. So after an hour, you haven't quite mastered this tool yet. So you guys are waiting there for another hour. And at that point, everybody kind of feels this weird little shift in their minds. And a few minutes later, your archer friend Ezra is brought in, and Bolt has to quickly hide. And he's brought in and just chained up against the wall. And you start coming around as the guards leave.
Did they chain me up
Yep,
as well?
they chained you up as well.
They just throw me in there.
No, when you say our archer friend, are we like, oh yeah, it's Ezra, the archer, and I never knew him as a wizard?
Correct.
Or are we like, something's
like that.
weird, but I don't know what's going on, or whatever? No, it's
Yep,
just totally normal.
It is just totally normal.
Okay.
Yep. He's always been. It's been a little odd because he's done some tricks with his bow that you wouldn't expect a regular archer to be able to do. Like at one point, he was able to kind of create this kind of burst of energy that hit multiple targets. It was a definite help during the aberrant gatherer fight. He was able to kind of take out a few of the gatherers pretty quickly with that one shot in the beginning. But it isn't like you guys have 2 different memory sets of him or anything like that.
Okay.
Ezra, are you okay?
Oh, Bolt. A little banged up, but I'm fine.
Where did they take you? Why were you separated?
They wanted the book. And
back
they've
there.
got the book, unfortunately.
Oh, they also put your bow, and they kind of moved Hug out of the way and put it down where he's been rummaging around.
Well, that book was always full of nonsense.
One of your
Dangerous.
11. Okay.
Dangerous nonsense.
But if you guys couldn't read it, I think you guys are pretty smart. This guy's probably not that much better.
What do you think they wanted it for?
Would I know that it was chronology?
Yeah,
Okay.
you were still able to decipher Trevin's journal
Right,
entries.
which it called that out.
Yeah, the few that you did decipher.
Right. This organization seems wrong, like abusing the powers of time for something. Can't quite put my finger on it.
Well, what do we know now?
So when you say that, you
way
hear. I just rolled a check, and you hear one of the manacles kind of can hear a little, some of the chain rattle a little bit, and and then I can start working on other ones.
The smartest man in our party.
At that, you hear some thumping, like somebody's rushing over, and Hug comes over and just like drops a bunch of stuff down in front of you, and he starts like picking up, and he picks up an apple and he goes, "Is this yours?"
Thank you so much, Hug, for your help.
Is it yours?
You just leave all that right there.
Oh, okay. Are you? Looks like he wants to eat the apple.
No, the apple is not ours.
He pops it into his mouth. Don't tell him I did that.
No one will tell anyone anything.
And he double winks at you. Just a blink.
He double winks. That's hilarious. Okay.
I watch door. You can free Hug?
Yes. I hold up one of the manacles and I get back to work.
Hug watches door.
Yes.
And Hug will like rush over and just kind of like sit down in front of the door and just kind of
Hug door.
Hug door.
No.
So it takes
What a little
while.
Screwed up the timeline and made Hug door.
But you are
Worst character ever.
You were Brand.
So you eventually clear off all of your locks. You free everybody else as well. Everybody can gear up.
And I hug
your bow.
Come here.
And Hug like watching door. Wait.
Do you want to be free?
Hug turns around and scrambles over.
I'll watch the door.
Get
And
everything.
the moment I get out and I can feel the daggers, I call every last one. Just
Yeah.
How many hit points do you want me to have right now?
You were able to take a short rest as well. So
Okay.
however many.
Victor's walking around with a bunch of daggers, basically naked.
So start out from 1 and start spending a short rest.
Who needs it the most?
Well,
Am I able to
20.
undo the lock without triggering?
You're gonna have that is going to be an Arcana check for sure,
Okay.
or the same proficiency check that you've been rolling. Your Arcana is the same as the proficiency for the tool. So
Can I roll it with advantage since I was able to get all of ours off without triggering anything?
I'll give you a D4 on it. How about that?
Okay. A little bless.
A little bless. Yep.
Simply the bless.
Nice. So that is 16.
16.
Yeah.
So you start working. You can see this kind of like it's almost like it's pulsing around. These runes are lighting up with that same like golden time magic that these members of the Infinite Sight seem to utilize. And
I imagine it looks like the sand from the Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
Where it's like that magic.
Yep.
The magic sand stuff.
And you start clicking around through the cipher, and as you get that final click in, the magical collar unlocks, and Hug lets out a sigh of relief, and the contraption that you made just kind of like crumbles into dust, almost as if it took all of that power into itself and then just decayed rapidly.
Congratulations, Hug. Now we may speak.
Nice to meet you. I'm
Nice
Hug.
to meet you. I'm Victor.
And he definitely like claps your hand with his giant meaty fist and just like starts shaking it wildly. And he goes, "We escape now?"
Well, this is your home, so I assume you know all the ins and outs and where we should go and what we should do.
And he goes over to a very obvious tunnel at the back. And he goes, "Other way out this way."
Do you have any layer actions you can take?
I'm not going to lie. I'm a little nervous about leaving that book with these people. I don't know what kind of things they could do with it.
Hug.
I don't
Do
know.
you know how many people from the Infinite Sight are here?
Well, they have... He starts...
Does he count on his toes too?
Yeah, like he definitely like runs out of fingers and has to count his toes. 7 people, 2 wrong ones, and then
Those are the floating fellows.
yeah, those ones. And then there were 2 kind of like you, big metal beetle people.
Oh, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah, I have a feeling we'll have to come back for the book. Figure something else out.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Hear me out. This is kind of crazy. I've come to the realization that the Arcanum might not be the bad guys here. Instead, these are the bad guys.
What makes you say that?
These guys they want time magic for ill intent. Maybe we go to the Arcanum and let them know about this place. Maybe we can get some sort of amnesty. Or
I'd say we try to get out of here first.
Question.
Yeah.
Focus on that.
And if you don't want to let us know this, obviously, but like when our memories were rearranged, like does Eve's boss still want us to bring Ezra to
nothing about your adventure has fundamentally changed.
Okay.
You were still able to talk to Alarian. He was just an instructor that kind of like, he was like a guidance counselor partially at that academy that helped Ezra. You were still able to, like, he still had the book. Lucan definitely wanted the book, or wanted the...
There was an employer
yes.
that was paying for us to bring...
Basically what, and this is going to be very meta knowledge, they didn't cut off a branch of the tree.
Right.
They shaped the bush around into a new direction that fits what they need better. Basically makes him easier to capture, easier to deal with, that kind of
and not a loose
Not a
chronologist.
loose,
He was a threat before, and now he's much less of one.
Yep. So nothing has fundamentally changed except for the fact that Ezra just is a little different.
Well, the way I see it,
But we don't know that.
We don't know that.
Well, I mean, yeah, you don't really know that.
the way I see it,
Eve does a little bit.
Ooh.
I'm sure Eve has, like, because out of everybody in the party, Eve was the most, like, enamored with Ezra's magic. And very, like, it was her first foray into it. And seeing him now as an archer, it just feels different. Like, all of those feelings that you had about Ezra's magic and Ezra in general being like this amazing wizard have kind of faded away. And you're just left with a feeling like a little bit muted. Like, everything that you thought about him was... it's a little weird.
I used to have a crush on you.
L.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do I have time to do two things?
That depends on the theme.
I want to check my ring.
Okay.
Is there anything?
There is... So you sent a message to Cass, asking him how long he'd be in Salzport, and asking him...
What specifically he needed us for.
So he did reply back, and he said, good guards, always nice to have while flying. Especially a good archer is written in there. and he said in Salzport, 2 more days, then moving on.
Okay.
So, but there are no other messages.
Okay. The next thing I would like to do is just, could I do a religion check and make a prayer to the trio?
What are you exactly praying for?
I want to know if we need to retrieve the book while we're here.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a religion check, yeah.
I always roll bad on my religion checks.
You're new to it. It's
10. Yeah.
You don't get any feeling that the trio thinks the book is important for any portion of what they need from you.
Okay.
Can I make a similar inquiry of Craggy?
Sure. Roll me a religion check.
Not my strong suit. All right.
Or Arcana.
I'm not really good at either, but just I have a bad intelligence. Anyway, I'm going to use this die.
Do it.
You have
It's gonna do
one
good.
more chance. 16.
Okay. Yeah, Craggy definitely gives you the feeling that that's not important right now.
Victor's...
If they're as bad as you say, we will surely run into them again. I don't think it would be hard to find a Chroner that's striking over the world.
Oh, we will run into them again, and this Thulin crawl will be on the sharp end of the arrow. Thulian crawl.
Thulian crawl. Yep.
At the mention
It's
of...
like Julian with a TH.
Remind me later. Let's look in the big
What a
book
fool.
of bounties, see if he's in there. If we have information.
Yes.
Sherry gets a little bit serious for a minute, and it's just like,
My dad never raised me to be part of a vanguard who is defeated and does not come back for vengeance. We'll be back. I can't live with this defeat.
It's just setback, not a defeat.
And I go, besides, we have to get Hug his house back.
That's right.
But first, we must leave it.
That's also right. And Hug goes over and he like pulls this large boulder out of the way, and you can see a tunnel that's leading out away from the hideout.
Cool.
Okay,
Let's go. Follow.
so you guys head out with a new Ezra, a new companion in an ogre, and kind of weird. Maybe a weird discordant thought about what things should be compared to what they are. But now you know the name of your enemy, at least. As well as the kind of strength they possess.
Yeah.
And we'll go ahead and continue next time. We'll see how it goes. You guys have lost the book for now, but who knows what will happen in the future.
For now.
Oh, that makes me
Cool.
mad. We gotta get the book back.
We have to.
But until then, thanks everybody for joining us. Love you all as usual. Please like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends. Tell them that it's getting weird with time magic now. That never goes wrong in any series.
It's getting really
There's
weird.
never any sort of paradoxes or anything like that. But yeah, we'll see you next time.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.